Now, this is one of those videos I was hoping never to make. My question is, does Airbnb hate good hosts? And I'm not trying to bag on Airbnb on this video. I'm just trying to share my experience. So hopefully we can improve the platform, and hopefully this doesn't happen to other hosts, what things I learned from it. But let's jump into why Airbnb is having so many issues with really good hosts, very troubled guests, and a massive disconnect when it comes to customer service at Airbnb. Now, real quick, let me just give you a little bit of backstory and who I am. My name is John Hildebrand. I've been a host since early 2016 on Airbnb. I absolutely love Airbnb. So this is not a hate on Airbnb campaign. I love Airbnb. They've done great for me. I'm an Airbnb official ambassador. I'm an Airbnb co-host. So yes, I do a lot. I do a lot of advocacy stuff for Airbnb, but it's not perfect. And there has been a lot of things lately that I've been hearing that a lot of hosts have been coming to me and been like, hey, I've been suspended. I've been kicked off the platform, a guest refund, all these things that keep coming up that don't make sense to me at all. And why are they punishing amazing hosts? And I'm always trying to relay this message to Airbnb as much as I can. I'm lucky enough to have some connections over there. So I relay this to the ambassador program, the co-host program, whoever I know at Airbnb that I can get in front of. Because all I want to do is improve the program. Yes, we all know this is the giant. You should be doing other platforms to book. Yes, we all know that. Airbnb is most of my bookings. So I want to improve the program as much as I possibly can. Whew. And with that, hopefully this video will not be too long because I could probably ramble on this forever, but I'm going to try to give you snippets of what happened so you get an idea. And I'm already done with this case. Case is all closed. I got bookings afterwards. So I can pretty much talk about most of everything, but I'm not going to give out names. I'm going to, of course, protect the guest and whatnot. Okay, this booking happened in September 20th. I got to look, September 20th. But about 2 weeks prior to this, he was reaching out, asking for a discount. Red flag number one. Wasn't verified on Airbnb and had no reviews. So right away, before we take it any further, we reach out to the guest and make sure they get verified on Airbnb. Now, this should have been a red flag because he was so adamant about not verifying on Airbnb. I told him there's no way we're accepting this booking. He finally verified on Airbnb, and then we tell him that we do SuperHog as well, background check. He was very adamant about not doing that. I said, fine, you don't need a book with us. He finally was like, okay, this doesn't seem like that big of a deal. I get why you're doing it. And then he did the background check and whatnot on SuperHog. Now, this was for a 14-day booking, a $7,000 booking. So it was a big deal. I can understand why he asked for a discount, but we already have discounts in place for longer stays. Now, the communication was very weird. It was very complicated. We would reach out to him. He would take 24 hours to respond and whatnot. So we were kind of nervous on this booking, but he did SuperHog. He was verified on Airbnb, so we were trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. And then this is where it got kind of weird. He was asking for a bigger discount if only his daughter were to stay there. So we don't let anybody stay that is not the primary guest. So if they're the primary booker, they have to physically be there. So when we told him that, he's like, oh yeah, I'm coming, but I'm only gonna stay there for a few days and then my daughter's gonna stay the rest. So it'd be total of 3 guests. Not really that big of a deal. But then we started asking some more questions and he told us the day he was checking in, like 5 minutes before, as he was checking in, that he wasn't gonna be able to make it now and only his daughter was gonna check in. So everything's okay. The first day, he wanted to check in pretty late at night, said not a problem, the place can be tricky, da-da-da. He claims he didn't check in that night because he couldn't find the place and he couldn't reach us, which is not true because we respond to all of our messages very, very fast. So that was weird. He claimed he had to stay at another place. We did see his car or his daughter's car in the driveway. So right away he he was kind of lying to us, which was weird. What was the reason for it? And then the next morning, dear Lord, he was writing us that his daughter felt unsafe, that there was no locks on the door, that the place was extra dirty, unsanitary, you can't live here, that you had no smoke detectors. We're filing a full report on Airbnb and we want a full refund. But wait, and he said he wanted us to pay him for any expenses and move him to another location and pay for his other Airbnb. I was like, what? So right here, we can obviously tell he wasn't happy. So right away, we send a bunch of messages to him. We're like, hey, really sorry that you feel this way. We have photos of our cleaners there. This place is spotless. We've never had any complaints. Not really understanding what you're saying about the lock. Can we send somebody up there? He refused to let us send somebody up there. So we had a little bit of back and forth and didn't really hear too much from him. He was taking a long time to get back to us. So then about 3 days later, he writes us back again, this insane paragraph. Like, my daughter feels violated here. This is unsafe. Like basically it's just started repeating himself again, over and over and over again. Was sending us pictures of like the wood floors. They're like it's an old school Malibu house. The floors have little spots on it. They're wood custom floors. Super weird. It's not gonna make your place like unhealthy or unsafe to stay there because of the wood floor. Talking about the locks, saying we don't have smoke detectors. I would prove to him we did. So right away I was like, you know what? I think this guy's trying to fish for a discount or something or a full refund, because none of these are true and none of this makes any sense why he's complaining so much. So what do? We called Airbnb right away. And this is where Airbnb completely dropped the ball. So we told the guests, hey, we called Airbnb, we let them know that you're not happy. We told them that we would give you a full refund, but you have to cancel this reservation. And so we sent him a resolution and gave him a full refund for every single day that he hasn't stayed there. But he said, no, that's unacceptable. We need to pay him. Yes, we need to pay him for all the days that he's already stayed. This went back and forth for 48 hours, like back and forth. He's like, I want a full refund. You have to pay me. I'm like, sir, the only thing we can do here is you're not happy. We don't want you not to be happy. So we need you to leave the property ASAP, and then Airbnb can help you find another place. It's pretty simple. And he refused. He kept denying the resolution. So what do? We called Airbnb again. We're like, you guys, we need help here. Our hands are completely tied. He's refusing every offer we give him, which is a completely fair offer. Airbnb's like, oh, we'll get a hold of the guest. We'll figure this out. What happens? Airbnb like pretty much ghosts us again. They claim they've been calling the guest and having trouble getting a hold of him. And then they talk to him for a little bit and he wants to stay. And then we get a message from Airbnb saying, we can't find another place for him. None of it made any sense. It's like, did Airbnb even call this guest? Are they even talking to the guest? So at this point, myself and my team were extremely exhausted and felt completely left for dry from Airbnb. Airbnb at one point told us, you know what? You guys need to figure out this between the guest and yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I did figure it out. I want to kick him out ASAP. They're not happy. We're going to offer them a refund. Zero support with Airbnb. They did not help us at all on trying to resolve this. And that part was so irritating that we were doing everything by the book. We were really trying to give them a refund, help them find another place. I even sent them a few other listings that might work. Nothing. No assistance from Airbnb. So now he's there like 6 days, 7 days. And we're like, hello, guest, name blank. Hello, guest. Here's the final offer. We're not going to go back and forth anymore. Either you evacuate the place ASAP, cancel the reservation, accept our resolution that will refund you 100% of the money for all the days you haven't stayed there. If not, please try to enjoy the house, relax, and stay the rest of the stay, but we're not going back and forth anymore. And he hit deny on the resolution. So at that point, we figured, you know what? He realizes that we're not giving in. Airbnb's not really helping him at this point. He's writing us messages how pissed he is about Airbnb not helping him at all, which is not my problem, right? I call Airbnb multiple times. So both the guest and the host feel completely abandoned by Airbnb. I'm telling you right now, this was exhausting. I was extremely bummed out by Airbnb because, like I said, I love Airbnb. I've heard of these kind of problems happening. I'm like, really? Well, maybe the host wasn't doing this. Maybe the guest wasn't doing that. Nope, it happens. The customer service was not very helpful at all. And I was very adamant and let them know, hey, I'm an ambassador. I'm a Superhost. I do all these things for you guys. This guest is obviously corrupt and fraud. He has 0 reviews. Doesn't seem like you're helping him. Doesn't seem like you're helping us. Oh, but wait, just wait. It gets so much better. So we don't hear from the guest. Finally, we're like, whew, okay, maybe all things are good. Let's just move on. Let's not go back and forth. It's pointless, right? At this point, he stays the entire 14 days, right? The day he's checking out, which was like October 5th or something like that, right? We look on the cameras, 10:30, the car is still there. 12 o'clock, the car is still there. 1 o'clock, the car is still there, and we cannot reach the guest. We're like, oh God, here we go. This guest is going to stay. We're gonna have to call the cops. We're gonna have to worry about getting him out. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare. We finally get a hold of the guest at 1 o'clock, and he's kind of like refusing to leave. We told him he's trespassing at this point. His reservation is done. He needs to evacuate the property or we're gonna have to get the cops involved. And that's when he's like, okay, finally, I'm leaving. My daughter's packing up right now. Remind you, he's not even at the property, so he's telling his daughter and they're trying to leave. So at 1:30, they finally leave. Meanwhile, we've called Airbnb like 4 times and let them know, hey, we have proof. The guest isn't gonna leave yet. They're still at the property. We need to get them out of there. My cleaner's already been here twice. I have to pay for that. What do we do? Like, what's going on? They're like, don't worry about it. You can charge a late fee for the guest. You have proof. All good. Send a resolution for the late fee. We'll help you through that process, right? So we're like, oh, finally. Then the guest checks out. And 1 hour after checkout, he files a full-on complaint to Airbnb. Of all the things I was telling you, this place is unsanitary, there's no smoke detectors. He said that they had to hire a professional cleaner to come to the house for 2 days straight to clean it all day to make it sanitary for his daughter. So I'm like, oh, cool. Let me check the cameras. Not a single person ever showed up to the property. We have cameras at the entrance. It's a private gate. We have a gate code. Nobody used the gate code. We told Airbnb this. We're like, he's frauding us, you guys. He's a full professional scam artist. This is not true at all. And with being on the phone multiple times with Airbnb, we have like 15 different cases going on. They closed all of them, not getting any help from all 14 days. There is so much report on this guest, back and forth, right? Airbnb can see that because we keep all the messaging in the Airbnb app for this reason alone, to protect ourselves. But nope, after he filed the report, 3 hours later, all of a sudden we get a message from Airbnb saying that they're gonna refund the guest 30% of his money back, and they didn't even reach out to us. Automatically took the money straight out of our account and paid this guest. I'm not even joking, I can't even make this up. They literally didn't even reach out to us. Airbnb didn't even bother to look at the million messages back and forth. They just 100% believed this super shady fraud guest with 0 reviews over a Superhost with multiple properties and 5 stars. And this is where I felt really betrayed by Airbnb. I feel like I do so much for Airbnb. I don't deserve any special treatment, but I'm a host and I know a million other amazing hosts with stories like this. And now that it's happening to me, I know firsthand how frustrating it was. We called Airbnb so many times. We tried to raise it up to the highest level we could. We had so many different cases going on. First of all, Airbnb was not getting back to us. It was like pulling teeth to actually talk to a human that knew what they were talking about. To have an Airbnb representative actually read through all the other cases we had going on where we constantly were ahead of it and reported this guest as being suspicious. We think they're trying to fraud you. We feel like they're stealing money from Airbnb and us as a guest, as a host, all of that stuff. Oh yeah, no, we reviewed everything, and from what the guest is showing us, it looks like this place is not right and safe and da-da-da. This falls under, our policy. I'm like, but you never even called us. You never even checked if any of this is even true. I can prove that all of this is false. I have photos of the smoke detectors. We have smart smoke detectors. It's on my phone. Like, all these things were just lies. The cleaners never showed up that he quote unquote spent $500 a day on. So after going back and forth with Airbnb for like 3 or 4 days, we realized it was a completely lost cause. I was beyond frustrated. My entire team was frustrated. At this point, there was nothing we could do. We were screwed. He even signed a rental agreement and a contract. So what, now I'm gonna have to hire a lawyer at this point. I'm talking with SuperHog to see what they can do as well, since he did sign a contract. But it's a total nightmare and such a headache. So we find out that this guest has been completely suspended, we think completely kicked off the platform, but they still decided to give him 30% of the booking, and they won't let us do a late fee. What? How does that make any sense? To me, that just goes to show that we were right the entire time. Airbnb saw that this guy was such a fraud, so they kicked him off the platform, suspended him, whatever. They won't tell us the details. And then they didn't come back to us and be like, you know what? We made a mistake. We're going to cover this under air cover. We're going to refund your money, whatever. Nope. So now I can't even go after him on the late fee. I'm fighting with Airbnb right now on how do we do that. So I'll update you on what that is. But don't you think that's crazy? Am I crazy? That they would kick this guy off the platform and then maybe not reach out to the guest, to the host, me, and say that, hey, we did a deeper dive, we apologize, something. Nope, I'm out 30% still, which is a lot of money because this is a $7,000 booking. So to be honest, I really don't know what the resolution is. I felt like we did everything to protect ourselves. We have SuperHog, we have waivers, we got ahead of it and called Airbnb multiple times, which, by the way, I have done this before, and Airbnb has helped me kick out a guest and no refund. So why it was so difficult this time just goes to show how bad and how disconnected customer service is from Airbnb. We all know that 90% of really good hosts know 10 times more than the customer service, which is fine, I guess, but they need to have different divisions in the customer service, something. I don't know what the answer is, but the customer service is a complete and total nightmare when it comes to Airbnb. And like I said, I love Airbnb. This is not a hate video on Airbnb. There's so many times that things work out great. This was one of them that was not, right? And another reason why I make this video is because I want to warn hosts that they gotta be careful. There's not much I could do here. I'm still fighting it. I'm gonna see what else I can do. But I'm also hoping somebody at Airbnb sees this and will realize, hey, we need to take a deeper dive into this. We need to figure out why this is happening on our platform. We need to fix it, right? So I'm really hoping that somebody will reach out to me. I'll be able to have an honest conversation. I'm not even worried about the money at this point. I just very exhausted that guests can get away with this kind of stuff over and over and over again, no matter how hard we protect themselves. And then it makes me worried because how much I really like Airbnb, but how many hosts are getting off the platform because of this. A lot of my business is on here. I do a lot of stuff on Airbnb, so I'm still staying on the platform. I'm just gonna start taking some other precautions. I'm actually talking with SuperHog about this right now. But a lot of hosts aren't gonna put up with this, and they're gonna leave, and they're gonna really master their direct booking. They're gonna go on the competitors' websites. Maybe a new competitor is gonna come out. So anyways, that was painful to even make this video on so many different levels. I'm exhausted from even re-talking about it. So hopefully there's a solution. Hopefully Airbnb will reach out to me. Hopefully this guest cannot book on the platform ever again. And yeah, I don't know. Protect yourself. Be careful out there. Like, subscribe. See you on the flip side.